Hello, my name is Cameron Collins. I'm a revenue operations strategist with Rev Partners, and I am really excited to share a report that I've created today, which is the backbone for executive reporting. Today, we're going to be going over an executive review that I use for quarterly business reviews with executives at companies of all different sizes. Now, we are using dummy data today. But what's really exciting about this report and being able to display it as you see here in Databox is the fact that we have a lot of metrics which cross different objects in HubSpot, but are displayed in one single view. One of the problems that we see oftentimes when building reports in HubSpot is to get information like this, where we're referencing contacts, where we're referencing deals, when we're looking at revenue. Oftentimes we have to create a multitude of reports to then get all of this data and then display it in a Google Sheet or in different methods, whether that's tables and bar charts. Whereas here we have cross-object data displayed cleanly, and it is a lot. So let's break this down. Now, when we do a quarterly business review at Rev Partners, typically what I'm breaking down is the entire customer journey from sessions when people look at a website through to the revenue that's being closed-won. And then we're breaking down where the greatest opportunities are for that organization to grow. And when we look at this report, we can see sessions, leads, MQLs, deals created, closed-won, and then recurring service amount or recurring revenue that was closed-won. In between these key metrics, we have calculated conversions. So we have the percentage of sessions that became leads, the percentage of leads to MQLs, percentage of MQLs to deals, and then we have the calculation to closed-won and average deal size. And again, in HubSpot, this is really hard to do and display in one graph. In fact, you really can't do it in one singular graph in your CRM, and that's where Databox becomes really helpful. So let's decipher how you can interpret this report and what makes it so powerful and impactful for executives when we do our QBRs. Now, even though this is sample data, there's a lot of really cool insights we can take away. For example, we can look at all of the information here and see that if we look just at the total recurring service amount, you'll see that if we look at Q2 year over year, there was a massive drop in revenue. And any company that has a massive drop in year-over-year revenue is oftentimes going to ask themselves, well, why did this happen? And although there's a variety of factors that ultimately will play into the answer, a very glaring one that jumps out is average deal size was cut almost in half. And when you have average deal size that's cut in half, now you have to start asking yourself, why was that average deal size cut in half? So although when we do quarterly business reviews, and we do executive reporting, there's drill downs and more reports that you can always continue to build. This particular report is the backbone for helping companies to grow and scale, because this is how we can start to look at the key top level metrics, understand what's going well, where are some of our opportunities for growth, scale, and change, and then dig in. In addition to looking at something like average deal size, which we can see was cut in half, we can look at quarter over quarter changes and see that the number of sessions was cut in half. Or we can see that the percentage of leads to MQLs has changed drastically. So all of these areas of opportunities, which can be looked at any way you want, quarter over quarter, year over year, and however you want to break it down, very easily, very powerfully, we can start to ask ourselves, why? Why are these things happening? Why is this data changing? Now, something that's really important to note is that Databox does let you pull in information from a variety of sources. So, for example, here we have the number of sessions, but maybe we want to know the number of leads based on where they're coming from and break it down by, is it contacts and leads that are coming from our website? Are they coming from webinars and other attribution? And this report gives you the high level questions and answers, but you definitely are going to want to have drill downs in order to get more and more granular. What's really cool when we look at reporting is you can view the same information in many different ways. So previously we had all of the data displayed as a table. Now we have it displayed as a funnel. And this is really helpful to look at where our greatest leakage may be. So specifically, if we wanted to look at this year, which is the time frame that we have, and maybe we want to see where our greatest opportunities are, well, we can see that there's a huge gap and drop off between the deals created and closed-won. And that is something that's to be expected. But again, the question we want to ask ourselves is why? So typically we're going to go ahead and start creating follow-up reporting, which is going to let us drill in even deeper. And that is how, as a revenue operations strategist, you can be strategic in your reporting. Ultimately, it's creating a high-level report which asks a question and gives you answers, and then lets you ask why there are efficiencies in that report. You create another report, which you then drill into even more deeply, ask yourself why there's efficiencies and how you can gain them, create another report, and keep going down that chain. So just like we previously had the table, which had all of the metrics, all of the conversion rates, and then we can drill in and look at a funnel like this and start to get even more deep answers. This is a process that you rinse and repeat. And keep in mind, the purpose of a quarterly business review is to assess a business and determine where your greatest opportunity for growth over the coming weeks, months, and quarters are going to be. So that quarterly business review is designed to be done where you analyze the past and determine where you have efficiencies to improve going into the future. And that is how you're going to be able to grow and scale your business using quarterly business reviews every single quarter. Thank you.